All right, so I decided to pick the coldest day of the year to actually review a BMW M4 Competition. So I'm going to keep this short and just say this is quicker than the C8 Vet we tested last month. Let's jump into it.
Yep.
That is speeds that we cannot mention on camera.
Too far off in terms of power. I think what the base M4 is like 473 or something like that.
Yeah, this is 503.
This is just over 5. So
yeah.
I wish you could have found one with a manual.
Yeah, I know.
Well, so
that's one thing too. So if you want an M4 or an M3 with a manual, you cannot get the competition package.
Really?
They're only automatic.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
And if you want all-wheel drive, you have to get the competition with the automatic, because they do not sell the M3 and 4 with all-wheel drive and a manual.
Well, I mean, that's kind of par for the course these days, it seems.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anything with all-wheel drive, it's like, no, you're not getting a manual. What did you say earlier about this M4 and how it accelerates compared to our C8 drive?
Oh, it's faster. Oh my God. The competition M4 to 0 to 60, I think like 2.8 or 2.7.
Okay.
Which is fast.
That's fast, yeah.
And the C8, the one that we had, we didn't have the one with the Z51 package.
Right, we had the base.
Right.
The very base.
That one did 0 to 60, I think like 3.2 or 3.3, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a half a second, this car is like a half a second quicker to 60.
Right.
And you can feel it.
Oh yeah, and it's probably because of the automatic. They're so gosh darn quick these days.
Yeah. And speaking of the automatic, I don't know if this is actually considered a dual clutch. It's just called an 8-speed transmission, and then they had a DCT before this.
Really?
But they don't call this a DCT.
So it doesn't have dual clutch. Is it just torque converter?
I believe it does have a torque converter, but I don't know. I don't know. It's German engineering.
But I just assumed that it was a dual clutch.
You know what? Actually, what I want to do is pull up my phone and I will read it out to you.
I feel like you should have done this beforehand.
Probably.
Like lack of homework right here.
Kind of.
A little bit.
But it was also very difficult to understand.
He was just too excited, you know. He's like, it's going to be fast anyway.
Here's what they say. With the new gear set concept 8 HP, which is this, 8 gears, it only needs 5 shift elements for 4 gear sets. And since only 2 shift elements are open per gear, drag losses in the transmission are significantly minimized. It only needs 3 multi-disc clutches and 2 brakes. As a result, it is more efficient than other concepts. This effect is supported by the use of new parallel access vane cell pump. So in other words, I have no idea what that means.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I couldn't explain it.
You guys tell us what it means.
Anybody, let us know, because this is another example of the just great German engineering. Now, there's a lot to like about this car, but it is a German car, which means that it's been over-engineered in certain ways. I'm going to give you the perfect example. If I want to pop the hood, we'll pop it open. And we go to open it, and it doesn't open. Because the Germans, BMW specifically, thought it was a good idea that you got to actually pop the hood twice. And then you can open the hood. This is exactly why a lot of people... Oh man, little bumpy road right there.
Bumpy right there. Oh. It's like you said, like it just plants and goes.
Yeah.
Plants and goes.
You would waste a lot of gas with this car though, because you always want to keep it like Sport and Sport Plus. And it holds your
gears.
shifts a lot. Like right now, it's holding it in 5th.
It keeps it
It's an 8-speed.
Just ready to downshift and floor it.
Like it just wants to go. It doesn't really slide out that much either.
Now, there's probably some kind of setting you have to change for your traction control management or something.
Oh, that's another fantastic thing.
What?
This car kind of encourages almost like a game. You put it into these settings. I'll put it up on the screen right now for you guys watching on YouTube. And it basically gives you a score on how well you drifted. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do that today because I'm just renting this car.
Really? It gives you like a score?
It gives you a score out of 5.
It's like, I gotta beat my last score.
The only person I've ever seen, I mean, I haven't researched too much on it, but the only person I've ever seen on YouTube that got a perfect 5 out of 5 stars was one of the guys from Straight Pipes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, and supposedly this car is really easy to drift to, which I kind of believe it because it's just so easy to drive in general.
Right.
Even on bumpy roads,
it holds pretty well.
I'm gonna let the person that's driving a slow ass Dodge Caliber.
Anybody behind us now? Just crawl, man.
All right. So I'm actually in efficient and comfort all this way. Why am I doing that? Can you put me in Sport
Plus for chassis?
Yes. And
about
Sport
engine?
Plus for engine. Now steering and brake go to Sport. Okay. That feels better. Everything tightens up. It gives you more of a good feeling.
Alright, easy here, buddy.
Yep, going drifted.
Going for the 5 of the 5.
Oh! Hit a stop sign. Fuck.
We're about to go away. Well, brakes work pretty good. You okay?
Yeah. I mean, a little poo came out, but yeah, we're good. And I got a exhaust button here too. See? Loud exhaust.
Oh.
Quieter exhaust.
Well, go loud, buddy.
Loud exhaust.
Oh,
yeah.
It's bouncing back here.
Yeah, this is sport suspension.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I forgot this road is a little bumpy.
That's alright, as long as I don't bottom out. Even on this road, I mean.
This will work it for sure.
Oh, coming up on Infinity. Let's see if he wants to race.
Slow down.
Nope. Passing.
Doesn't go that long.
Come on, Infinity, get moving. I'm in a Beamer.
Yeah.
I'm more superior than you. I'm German. Oh my goodness.
It's a little smoother. Yeah, it does ride nice though. Even in this like super sport whatever mode it's in.
Yeah.
It's still smooth.
Yeah, it's still pretty smooth.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I've read a lot of reviews on this. A lot of people talk about how livable it can be. Although I will admit, the seats need work. The bottom, my ass is numb from driving this. I had a 30-minute drive, or it's more like 35 minutes from when I picked it up to my place.
Right.
And within the first 15 to 20 minutes, my ass was numb. And it is not recovered since. And I'm kind of like in between what I should do. Should I get out into the freezing cold and stand out there for like an hour? Or do I just keep driving and hope that it doesn't make my legs numb? Because when my legs go numb, then we're crashing.
Hopefully that's not the case.
We'll see. We'll find out. That's another thing too. Even in these colder temperatures, it still grips. I gotta figure out what kind of. Well, they're Michelin PS4s.
Michelin, yeah, 4S.
Which I think is technically an all-season tire, but it's made for sportier cars.
Right.
Here's the $1 million question.
All right.
If you had $80,000, do you choose this or the C8? Because this you have back seats. The trunk's pretty sizable, actually. It's not bad. But the reliability, I think, is what will kill it for me. Like, I would trust the LT1 way more than I would trust a BMW engine.
I mean, now if you're leasing.
If you're leasing, yeah.
If you're leasing, just take it to the shop and let them deal with it.
Right. But then if you're leasing, you don't need $80,000.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
So I guess if you're leasing, okay, that's a good point. If I was leasing, I would definitely take this car. Because I feel like you just get a little bit more for your money.
Right.
But if I was buying and planning to keep for years and years and years, I would get the C8.
I agree. I think I would get the C8 only. Oh, wait. Right here. Sorry.
Oh, I know this road. I know where I'm at
Okay, well, so why would you get the C8 over this?
Reliability.
Reliability. Okay.
I would trust the transmission and the engine 10 times more than I would trust a BMW engine.
Yeah.
Just because they always leak oil. They always need oil.
It's a hard choice for me because, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and BMWs and European cars in general are notorious for high repair bills and you know, things breaking on them. There's a lot of bells and whistles that could go haywire.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, if you do have to take it to the shop, I'd much prefer the C8 only because, like I said, the bill's probably going to be less. Though that still remains to be seen because this is a mid-engine layout and there's other things. I guess historically, compared like, you know, C6, C7 Vet, it's going to be cheaper than trying to maintain this M4 for the long run.
Right.
Because there's just so many things on it that eventually will go wrong, will go bad and break. So, yeah, reliability, I think I'm a C8 too.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, BMW.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like, it's a great car. Don't get me wrong. Germans have always made great cars. That's kind of been the Achilles heel, if you will. It's just the reliability.
Yeah.
Will it keep up? The engineering's great. I love German engineering.
Kind of.
But that kind of hits the back seat when it comes to reliability. It's just like that's not on their radar, really. It's just like, go fast as best, as quick as you can. You know, they're getting around, but.
Oh yeah, this is nice. Oh yeah, look at that.
This is where the speed traps are usually too.
Oh shit, they have to tell me afterwards.
It used to be even crazier, but I think they reworked that area and smoothed it out because there was a lot of accidents there back then.
Yeah.
BMW's in that same vein as well.
Yes.
You know, they're not thinking about repairing it or fixing it or even sometimes maintaining it.
Right.
You know, it's the last thing on their mind. Their job is, we're going to make the best damn car that you can drive.
Right.
And that's it. You know,
then
everything
50,000 miles later, you're like, shit. I will always say that American V8s make the best sound and make the best sounding engines ever. But this sounds pretty freaking good too.
I just like V8s. But this isn't a V8 either.
It's not.
It's a 3-liter.
I know, I'm saying.
But it sounds good.
It sounds good, yeah.
Yeah.
For it being an inline 6, it sounds really good.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. Like for an inline 6, twin turbo, man, it sounds great. It's a car that's got so much performance like just baked into it, but yet if you just want to take it to and from the grocery store, it's not a problem.
Right.
You know, it's like it drives like a normal car when you want it to drive like a normal car.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about, you know, is it too rough riding? You can just dial back the chassis, you can dial back the engine, you can dial back the steering, the brakes, and that way it's not so harsh, you know.
Right. That's another thing about this car. This is the first car I've ever been in, and even my older cars that had different settings for like suspension, steering, engine, chassis, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the only one where I've actually changed from like comfort to sport or sport to comfort, and I can feel the difference.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Could not feel the difference in my other cars.
Right. Hey, that's crazy.
I think the other cars, they just had it as a gimmick. It's like, oh look, you can change this even though you're not doing anything.
It's like the placebo effect.
Maybe the throttle response is slightly faster.
Right.
Could be it.
But it's not perceptible, was what you're saying.
Right.
To when you're actually changing it, you can't really feel the difference. You see it on the display, say, oh yeah, I just went into sport mode, but it's like, I don't know, bro. It still kind of feels the same to me.
Yeah. The problem with the display though is that I need more time to spend with this car in order to figure out how to change stuff. I don't know how to change stuff.
Yeah.
How do I change stuff, people of the internet? Magnificent people that watch YouTube, please let me know. How do I change the gauge cluster
He needs help.
on an M4 Competition?
He needs lots of help.
So that's how it works. Okay, so you're in road, you hit it once, you go to sport, and then it changes your gauge cluster to that. And then when you hold it, you go down the track. And it looks like the gauge cluster stays the same. But you have to activate it. Do not use on public roads. You got it, buddy. And now this button right here, this will actually adjust your shift speed. So if you're in comfort mode and you want something that's not as harsh shifting, you just go ahead and hit that button down and it will adjust the speed. Put it in drive, right? You see the 1 and the D, right? And then you see these 3 bars next to it. That's your shift speed. All 3 of them are lit up right now, which means that you are in your fastest shifting mode. It's going to be a little bit more harsh. You go down 1, it's going to be less harsh, and now it's completely off, even though it doesn't look like it. It is. You can see it's lighting up and dimming out. And I also don't really care for this display, the center stack. It's nice that it has different settings and everything, but I try to pair my phone to it, it just won't connect. Bluetooth will, but the Android Auto just won't connect for some reason. The menus aren't as easy to figure out as they are in American cars.
There's a lot of menus. I did notice that earlier when you were going through it. I was like, God, there's a lot of options, a lot of things,
a lot of stuff to figure out.
Yeah, but I mean, like once you've owned the car for so many weeks and months, you kind of just figure it out and you learn it. Yeah, but first impressions, I'm not knocking them for that. Yeah,
first impressions though, a little difficult to use. I'm just trying to figure out how easy it is to break loose.
He's trying to break it.
But if I did that on other cars that I can't mention in this video because I mentioned it too many times in the last video.
What?
If I mention that that vehicle will break loose very easily, as evidenced by the millions of YouTube videos out there
of them going
into a ditch. It's one of those few cars that after you buy, you don't really care to get it tuned or whatever because you feel like it's just tuned properly.
Right.
I could never get the competition though. I would have to get just a regular M4.
I would too. Yeah, I would want the manual.
Yeah.
I would want the manual. This competition M4 is nice and everything. I know it's quicker and faster, but I would just want the manual. Yeah. I just like driving manuals, I think. Like for me, it's like I'm not trying to, be a world beater and like, oh, I got the fastest car. Like, no, I just enjoy driving the car for what it is. Like taking on some back roads and rowing through the gears and just feeling like, that feeling when you're with the car is just like you're in sync with it. It's I don't know. It's like it's another feeling. It's a good feeling.
It is a good feeling.
And you're not, like I said, you're not trying to like be the fastest, but you're enjoying driving and operating the car.
Right. There's definitely something therapeutic about driving a manual when you're into cars. The people that aren't into cars and they drive a manual, they don't understand it because they're not into cars. You gotta be into cars to understand how great it is to actually drive, how great it feels to drive.
I remember when I had my GTO, sometimes I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for a drive.
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm just going for a drive. That's
5, 10, sometimes 30 minutes.
Just sit for that, that 6-speed manual and just go for a drive for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was fun. Zipping around town, but nothing like, I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
I had to do it against the Mustang. Speaking of that, so you were talking about how, you understand that this car isn't made for the long drives and all that. That's kind of the problem that I do have with this car, though. Does that turn here?
Yes.
Turn right.
Yeah, turn right.
That's kind of the problem I have with this car, right? Okay. So if you're going to make it pretty much a track-focused weapon, then why do you make it livable? Like, why do you have comfort settings?
I mean, it's still a BMW at the end of the day.
Right, but if I can't sit in it for more than a half an hour without losing feeling in my ass, then what is the point of having comfort?
Yeah,
there is no comfort.
I think it's always like a compromise, right? Like they wanted to make it as performance as well, but you also, you do have to try to make it somewhat comfortable Now, I don't know what level of seats these are. Are these like the base seats, or are these like competition sport seats, or
I think they're the base seats for the competition package.
Okay.
Because there's other seats that are like full-on carbon fiber in the back.
Oh,
and these don't
like
have
the carbon shell.
Yeah, these are just plastic.
Okay. So I mean, like, it could be something like that going on. I don't know. But I see your point, though. To like,
it's like, if you're going to make it comfortable, make it somewhat more comfortable, so that I can sit in it for, you know, if I have a 45-minute drive to and from work and I'm taking this, I don't want to be worn out before I have to go to work.
Right.
That's it for this video. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more TSG drives. See you on the next one.